Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be talking about the 2024 car market because it's going to be completely different compared to the 2023 car market. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So I don't think it necessarily has to be said, but I am going to say it. 2024 for the sales year is going to be significantly different than 2023. So let's quickly go over what 2023 looked like, and then let's talk about what 2024 is going to look like. So 2023 saw profits on a per car basis shrink throughout the entirety of the year, both for automakers and for dealerships. Now the year started out really strong where profits were still relatively strong and volume was still pretty strong. Like the beginning of the year looked to be really good for the car market. Like we're going to see a bunch of cars sold and profit margins aren't going to be as high as what they were in 2022 and 2021, but they're still going to be pretty healthy overall. As the year progressed, profits declined and volume didn't stay up in terms of the seasonal amounts. At the beginning of the year, it looked like the car market might see like 16 million vehicles sold. And then by the end of the year, we ended up in that 15 million unit range. And now for 2024, we're pacing for like maybe 14-ish million units. So the car market is already contracting again after it was already contracted for several years. Definitely not a positive sign in terms of the health of the market. So yeah, the 2023 year was basically strong to start off with and then just kind of tapered off as the year progressed. 2024 is most likely not going to be like that. It's most likely just going to be a year that is not great for the car business. We're most likely going to see fewer cars sold. Again, that's what the year is pacing for so far. So lower volume, and on top of lower volume, because manufacturing has ramped up, there's going to be lower profit margins as well. So it's kind of like not a great situation for dealers or for automakers, but that means that we are now in a buyer's market because there is now inventory available. It's not like, hey, if you don't buy this car, it's going to be gone. You're not going to be able to get one for the next 6 months. It's like, if you don't buy this car, it's probably still going to be sitting there a month from now. I mean, it depends on the vehicle that you're looking at, but you guys get the point. So 2024 is going to be the year of the buyer's market, so to speak. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the best possible market to buy in. When I say buyer's market, that means that there is going to be more supply than there is going to be demand, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the deals are going to be fantastic from a monetary standpoint because different automakers are approaching this model year in different ways. And so I want to go over two different strategies that I'm seeing with automakers. One I will call the Toyota strategy, and the other one I will call the Stellantis strategy. So let's dive into it. The Toyota strategy is incremental price increases that aren't that massive at the same time of, trying to eat up as much market share as possible. And this, I think, is the best strategy that an automaker could go for. And Toyota, again, is the one that's kind of leading the charge with this because they have the least amount of inventory. And the reason they have the least amount of inventory is because they have some of the most reasonably priced cars on the market. I mean, look at their product, for example, Toyota 4Runners. Yeah, they've gotten a lot more expensive compared to what they were, 10 years ago, or it's more than that. It's like 14 years ago when this current generation of 4Runner was released. But you look at a Toyota 4Runner, right, this bigger SUV, and compare it to other bigger SUVs, and it actually is reasonably priced for what it offers because Toyota hasn't jumped up the prices too much. And on top of that, right, Toyota is not concerned about building too many 4Runners or building too many Camrys or Corollas. They're just going to keep building them, and they have their prices set so that people will come in. They trust the customers will come in because they know that their product is priced where it should be. And I mean, again, you saw this. Toyota ate up a bunch of market share last year. General Motors is another good example where they kept their prices more reasonable compared to their competition, and so they ate up a ton of market share. And General Motors right now is the biggest automaker in the United States because of that. And so that's the one method that you're going to see used in 2024 is automakers basically just trying to eat up market share. And from a consumer standpoint, that's the automaker you probably want to go with because the pricing is going to be a lot more reasonable. And again, that's what we're already seeing because, I mean, again, with the General Motors example, I've seen so many truck buyers switch from Ford and from Ram to General Motors because of the price differences. Again, look at an HD truck with General Motors. Top of the line truck from Chevy is 90 grand. Top of the line truck from GMC is $100,000. It's a lot of money. Top of the line truck from Ford and Ram, you're looking at $110,000 to $115,000. So like if you're looking at a top of the line Chevy and a top of the line Ram, $25,000 price difference between the trucks. That is a ton of money. And so yeah, that's the one route, and I think it's definitely going to pay off for these automakers. They're going to get more market share, and this is going to help them have a healthier business long term, because those customers will be servicing at those dealers, and then, you know, maybe they'll decide they like the vehicle so much that they'll stick with that brand moving into the future. You then have the Stellantis method. The Stellantis method, again, isn't just Stellantis. There are other automakers that are adopting this, where basically they're just focusing on profitability at all costs. They don't care how many cars they sell. They just care about how profitable they are as a business on the vehicles that they are selling. So the huge price increases that, you know, Stellantis has rolled out over the last few years, they aren't disappearing. Yes, we've seen some huge rebate programs, but you have to remember, rebates are just temporary. It's just, hey, this is the discount we have this month. We're not necessarily going to have that discount in the next month. And so they have these, you know, higher prices, and they're not pulling back on those at all. Ram just released the pricing figures for the 2025 Ram 1500, and it's going to be like $1,000 roughly, a little bit less than that, but about $1,000 more expensive on every single package with the new 1500. So they're not decreasing the price in the 1500. They're increasing the price on it. And so their thought is the market's going to be smaller, so might as well try to get as much money as we can from the customers that will buy in this market. And so that's the other, you know, thing that automakers are doing. And again, just my personal opinion, I don't think that's the way to do business in a market like this, because what is ultimately going to happen is, yeah, there will be some people that that's the vehicle they want to buy, and so they'll pay the higher price, but they'll produce far more vehicles than you have people buying. And so you have a situation that Stellantis is already dealing with right now, where they have so much inventory they can't sell it. Like the Ram 2500 has over 700 days worth of inventory right now. And the HD trucks last month had a rebate of 10% under MSRP plus dealer discount. I saw some vehicles getting discounted like $20,000 off of MSRP, and people were still not biting. People are still saying too expensive. I don't want to touch it. And so, yeah, I don't think that route, that business model is sustainable. I think that, yeah, you know, a couple of years ago, they could have gotten these higher prices, but now we're in a different market, and now they've priced themselves out of the market. And again, this isn't just Stellantis. There are other automakers that are doing this. And also the other thing to mention is this isn't just like, you know, all across an automaker. Like Stellantis has some product that I think is reasonably priced, like the Wrangler 392. For what that is offering, again, it's an expensive vehicle, but for what it is offering on the market, it's actually pretty reasonable. And the fact that Wrangler 392s for the most part sell out of most dealerships at a relatively quick pace, like the day supply inventory of Wrangler 392s is really small in the grand scheme of things for the Jeep brand, right? That shows that not all of their product is, you know, too much. So let me know what you guys think about the 2024 sales year, and let me know which business model you think is going to win out. Again, I think the Toyota model is going to win out over the Stellantis model, because, you know, again, if you have a contracted market where supply is going to be higher than demand, pricing is going to play a big part in terms of, you know, where people spend their money. I'll see you.